So, here we are again, on YouTube, searching for advice. Which video is this? Maybe the third, the fifth, the first? Doesn't really matter. You're back searching for motivation from people that are as clueless as you. You could be the type that is searching for lifelong happiness, or you could be one of those guys that want to get as rich as fast as possible, to drive expensive cars and retire at 3 years old before they even learn to talk. No matter which type you are, even if you think the other is cringe, in reality, you're all the same. Because in the end, here you are, searching for an answer to your questions. But you ask yourself, is it that bad that I'm searching for answers? Aren't I closer to my goals if I actively seek to find a way to achieve the things that I want? What the fuck do you know about reaching your goals? And I would answer, yes. I don't fully know how to reach the goals that I want. And I don't know how you can reach the goals that you want. But I do know that watching videos on how to reach them will never solve my problems. Because you're forgetting a fundamental thing. That you already have all the information that you need. Regardless of what you want in your life, you'll come to a point where you've got no idea how to reach it. So normally you go and seek advice from people that are also working on getting the same thing you want, or people that have already achieved it. So you do it on YouTube. You find a guy that could help you out. He motivates you and you follow his advice for a week or two, but you end up coming back, searching for even more advice because the previous video just didn't work out for you the way you intended. Same goes for the next video and the next and the next, and wow! Here you are, stuck in a loop with a false idea that you're doing something productive by watching these videos, when in reality you're wasting time because you're failing to realize that other people can only get you so far, to motivate you, and that's about it. Everything else comes down to you, the way you think, the way you act, the way you perceive the universe, that being you. Recently, I read a book by Epictetus, who is this Greek philosopher that is one of the main pillars of Stoicism. You know, the mindset that you're a sigma male and emotions are useless, and that everyone's a sheep and no one can understand you. Stoicism, even now when it's blown out of proportion with out of context statements such as those, can still be beneficial to you. In the book,
Enchiridion.
a quote really stood out to me. You have received the philosophical principles with which you ought to be conversant, and you have been conversant with them. For what other matter then do you wait as an excuse for this delay in self-reformation? The way I perceive this statement is that we already have the knowledge within ourselves on how to reach for what we want, but yet we still search for an answer from outside ourselves. And you can see where I'm going with this. People on the internet giving you advice on how to achieve something, no matter if the intention is good or bad, most probably will not help if you follow them blindly. And you might say that the videos you watch are not only helpful with motivation because they also include guides and habits to follow. Okay, they include habits that could help you reach the goal that you want. But is it truly necessary to pick up those habits? When we pick habits, some of the most important things to consider are longevity and satisfaction. Let's say that some YouTuber has told you that waking up at 5 AM is the key to having, I don't know, a Honda Civic. But when you try doing it, you either fail at sticking to the habit because you despise it, or you forcefully make it happen when it never even was needed to pick it up in the first place. I see habits as just more than a way to achieve something. I see them as a way of living. If you do a habit that you don't like just to get something, and you eventually get that thing, you will still have the habit that you clearly despise. You might get complacent with it eventually with time, but it's still something that doesn't have a long-term benefit to you. So, when choosing a habit, consider if you would want that habit in your life, and not only for it to help you reach a certain goal in mind. The goal will be achieved, and a new one will be set, but the habit will stick around. I'm not saying that the habits that people give you are useless. I'm trying to make a point that they're only useful when you aren't just mindlessly following them. You find out what works out for you and what you think will improve you and satisfy you the most, in general. I kind of went on a tangent, but the general idea is that if you really want to achieve the things that you won't do it by blindlessly following the ways of other people. But aren't you doing the same thing by following advice from Epictetus? Alright, listen, little shit. I'm not following everything the book says. I mean, Epictetus is a great man, and I'm sure some of the quotes will be also beneficial to you. And I'm consciously taking his advice because it resonates with me and my values. Finding out what works out for you is what will make you reach your goal. You can search all the ways other people have achieved what you want, and you will find out only one thing. That no matter how many ways there are to achieve one thing, only your way will ever be the path to you achieving it. So stop underestimating yourself that you don't have the knowledge to succeed. You already have it. The only thing that is stopping you is self-doubt. You may not know the exact steps, but as you keep trying, you will find them. Others have achieved it, and so can you. And if it's something that hasn't been done before, then be the first to do it. Thank you for watching and subscribe.